Oh yeah. Good morning, good day, good evening, good afternoon, good after breakfast, good whatever time it is, wherever you are. Welcome back to Humanitarian Chronicles, the home of humanitarian stories, the stories from frontline health workers, frontline workers in general, and emergency responders across the board. They might be medical, they might be military, they might be police, they might be a civilian, they might be anybody who is just helping in places where their lives are in danger as they help other people. This is the home where we tell those stories so that you get to know what it is that we go through on a daily basis. And at the same time, you get to realize, these people sometimes smile, but that smile is a mask. My name is Rastadoc, aka Dr. David Wasambla. No, Dr. David Wasambla is my actual name. That's not my aka. But yeah, aka Deadlock Doctor, aka Deadlock Doc, aka Rastadoc. Now no longer Silver Fox. For some reason, I might tell you. Maybe I might not. Anyway, moving on. So karibuni sana, whoever is here. Karibuni for, thank you for being here with us. Thank you for being here with me. And we will make this a bit snappy, probably no longer than an hour today. Basically because I woke up late. I am so happy. I woke up late. For me, it's 5 o'clock. I woke up at 5 in the morning. It's now 5:40 in the morning. And I can tell you that for me is a celebration. Because I have been known for the last 2 years or so to wake up no later than 3 a.m. every single morning. Basically part of PTSD, which I'll talk about today. I want to talk about some of these topics. Yes. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. As you're aware, the month of May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And it's basically allowing us, we are taking it upon ourselves, or people are taking it upon themselves to speak out more against mental health issues, or rather about mental health issues, so that it is clear that there is something that we are tackling, there is something we're dealing with, it is something we need to deal with. I listened to someone saying the problem with mental health is that you cannot see it. You know, when somebody punches you in the eye and you have a black eye, you can say, hey, I have a black eye. If someone punched me, you can see it. When you hate yourself, well, probably there's a bump there, you can say, hey, listen, my heart, you can see it. If you are sick physically, you can see it. Somebody can see it and say, hey, you look unwell. But with mental health, it cannot be seen. It's an invisible thing. It's an invisible condition. And people think, you're just joking around. Welcome for those who are joining. Thank you very much for your time. And it's going to be fun today. Fun in the sense that we are going to be discussing things that are heavy, but at the same time, I'll try and make sure that we don't transfer to you the pain that we go through, the pain that I went through, the pain that other people may go through that I narrate in this live today. So there's a growing concern surrounding mental health issues because, number one, it is there. We cannot run away from it. Hiding from a problem doesn't make it go away. It just allows it to fester under the surface, and then one day it pops up. Have you seen how a boil just pops up? You just keep ignoring it, and then it's gone, or it does something, or it gets worse. One of those three things might happen. So we need to be able to tackle the issues of mental health, not necessarily aggressively, but proactively, so that somebody is somewhere thinking about it and actually doing something about it. I talked about Humanitarian Chronicles. That is the podcast, that is the show, that is basically, as I say, the platform where we are telling stories of humanitarians, but not just humanitarians, of anybody who has gone through stuff, traumatic experiences, and would like to share. So if you're there, karibu sana to share with us your stories. You've seen already, we've had how many interviews? 3 interviews have gone up on the show. We had Kagwere Murundi, Mama Wakera, Mama Toothless, Mama All. Basically, this is a wonderful young lady who is doing amazing things with her motorbike, traveling around the country. She's ridden the 47 counties of Kenya, and has been doing charity work, especially in Turkana, but in other places also. So she set up a library in Turkana, a community library in Turkana, which she is basically putting books in, and is also teaching young children, young meaning basically from the age of, I guess, 4 or 5, all the way up to 15, 16. They just come to her to the library, they talk to her. she spends time with them and teaches them how to read, and there's been a lot of progress in that time. Kagwere came all the way from Meru via Mombasa all the way to Turkana to do this. So it's amazing, and I give props to her for that, because it's not easy getting out of your comfort zone to go into a different comfort zone, quote unquote, to be able to do something that is not even within your scope. Kagwere Murungi is a civil engineer. Very, very senior for that matter, and well learned, well thomed, as we used to say before, well thomed, and here she is doing all this work, delivering and distributing sanitary pads in Turkana. She has set up a pad bank, as she calls it. Basically it's a place where you bring in sanitary pads as you're donating them. They're deposited there, and people come and quote unquote withdraw. Women come and withdraw, girls come and withdraw the pads they need for the month, for the period that they're in the cycle, and it's a recurrent thing. And then we have someone like Emily Warimu does a similar thing in Nyeri and its environs, but also across the country, and she's supporting other people, set up a lot of other things in terms of education. So she also has a community library that she has been doing for a long time. And Emily has done this for years, probably more than a decade, close to 2 decades now, out of her own volition. And then now, of course, she has support from other people, external and internal. We work together with her also. So she's doing books, she's doing education, she's doing teaching, and all that kind of stuff, and yes, also sanitary pads. So we did a donation there also, just like we did in Turkana. Then we have Kimani Kamau, also again based in Naivasha, where he's working. That's where his main 8 to 5 is, but then he takes his motorbike. Emily also is a rider. Kagwere, of course, is a rider. Kimani is a rider. Takes his motorbike and rides around the country, creating awareness on pediatric cancer. We will be talking to Kagwere Murungi very, very soon in our part 2 of the Kagwere Chronicles, on Humanitarian Chronicles. She'll be telling us how this whole thing started, riding for hope, riding for impact, so that we are not just riding bikes, but we're riding bikes with a reason, with an impact, changing people's lives. Sometimes people just say, oh, what do the. Yes, this is what do the. I accept. Thank you. We are proud of being what do the, but we try to make a difference. It might not be very big, but we try to make a difference in life. We try to shift the narrative, so that we are no longer just being a poor country with bad politics and bad politicians and bad governance, but a country where, despite all this that is happening, the toxicity, the negativity, we can still, with our do-this, make a difference. So we've come together. We'll talk about it in another live, another podcast, or another show altogether. Then we have Trixie Gard. Trixie is basically Kimani Kamau's younger sister, and 18 years only. The other day you saw her. If you didn't see her, you will see, but you've seen her interview. Her interview has gone up. I talk about the interview. We have Kagwere Murungi, we've had Trixie, and then we've had Loro from Turkana. And Trixie, the other day when we were going to Turkana to deliver 6,390 sanitary pads, which is 639 packets of sanitary pads to Turkana, which went to Lodwa Girls High School and Lodwa Women's Prison, and some remained in the pads bank. Trixie just made up her mind and said, I'm going to walk along all over Naivasha raising funds for pads. At 18 years, when your mind begins to think like that, that is bright, that's ambitious, that is amazing, that's somebody. Thank you for the likes, the love, tap. Sijui mtu sema nini soma story. Anyway, so so Trixie was in Naivasha. She walked the whole day. She was rained on with some of her friends who did that. He had, I think, 2 friends were with her. Thank you, kudos to you, big up to you, top shotter. Nashukuru sana. And she raised a huge number of sanitary pads just by walking around Naivasha. So that's amazing. And she's also a rider. She rides motorbikes also. And then we have Waithaka Mukuria. You may or may not know him. Waithaka Mukuria is an amazing producer, TV producer, movie producer, documentary producer, stuff like that. I call him reproductive organs, because basically he's producing and reproducing stuff and people not literally, but the shows he produces has people that are produced, characters produced from there. So he's the one who produced, was the brainchild behind the Real Houses of Kawangware, as a writer and as a director and a producer of Hapakule News, where the Real Houses of Kawangware came from. And then he came up with the idea of that skit, of that piece in Hapakule News. Then later that became a whole show. That's why you see in the credits it says there were Nakamukuria, brain fart or brain something. Anyway, so he is the one who had the brain fart for that show. So yeah, people like Baba Boy, the character that I played in Houses of Kawangware, were basically born by him. That's why I call him reproduction. So yeah, Dr. Lu, the engineer in Hapakule News, was born out of that idea. The ideas, the writing, the scripting by Nakamukuria and other people, and other stuff that he's done. Quite a number of other things he's done. So and now he's a rider. He's part of the small team that we call the Humanitarian Pikpikists, that are working together to basically walk together this journey of building, one, ourselves, and two, of course, seeing how we can do charity with motorbikes, on motorbikes. So very, very quickly, this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and as I was saying, mental health is for a lot of reasons ignored, sometimes not because people want to, but because of the stigma behind it, because of the discrimination behind it, because of the thought behind it that, the moment you say that you have a mental health concern, you have a mental health issue, then people will brand you mad, people will brand you crazy, which is very true. In many cases, I say, I'm cheesy too. The other day, about a week ago, I met somebody, an acquaintance I just met a few days prior to that, and I met him again, and we were having this chat. We were looking at, how we can possibly work in the future. It might not work, I don't know. Something he said that was very, very hurtful, not to me specifically, but to me as a mental health advocate. We were talking about, the issue of the rates of depression in the country, the level of trauma in the country, the level of struggle in the country, the level of concern around mental health issues and mental health concerns. And he said something very, very annoying, I would say. I corrected him very patiently. Nowadays, I don't have chills. I left them in Ukraine and the UK. So that's why chills should be Upper Kenya Taki chills. Anyway, yeah, so I corrected him very patiently. We were with another friend of his that I met on that particular day. So I was talking about, he asked me, so what do you do? Why do you do what you do? And what's the whole purpose? So I showed him this. This is the flyer, which is soon becoming a poster, which is also our flag. Part of this is our flag. So tackling trauma together is basically the hashtag 3T. Tackling trauma together is about us coming together as people who have seen trauma, lived through tough times, lived through pain, and coming together and supporting each other. So that we are able. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes, people. Thank you so much for the likes. Asante sana, nashukuru sana. Huwe nikikwambia sana ni sana. Thank you. Sasa umejojeka jina, umeweka picha, alafu dot, alafu long time watcher. Thank you. Top shorter. Yeah, so I was talking about that. I was saying, there's a very huge need for people to come together and support each other. So there are very few safe spaces where people with trauma can go to and just speak their life, speak their truth, and not be judged, because he made a judgment. He said, I'll tell you what he talked about. So the idea of, now Broken Souls moved from just being the book I was privileged to write, Broken Souls, Chronicles of a Humanitarian Health Worker. This is the book that I wrote, released last year, April. It's in the markets, it's in bookshops, and I'll talk about that in a very short while. Yesterday, some covers are delivered, and I saw the watchman at the gate was so happy to see me. I'm like, nini mbaya? They're like, hapana, tumekuona pale. I'm like, manena wapi? Nimefanya nini? Nimeiba nini? Si mimi niiba simu yako. They're like, no, tumekuona kwa book. And the guy was like, hey, tumekuona hapa. I'm like, okay, thank you. Yeah. So Broken Soul originally was just the book, and the idea of the book, as I keep mentioning, maybe for those who don't know, I'll just summarize the idea of the book is to highlight the plight of humanitarians, emergency responders, frontline workers, what we go through, the traumas we go through, the masks we wear to cover the pain, cover the scars and the wounds. But then also, it's the bottom line of this. These are my personal experiences and the personal experiences of humanitarians that I know, that I've worked with, that I've worked with, that personally people that I know. So it's not like see stories are jabber. See stories are jabber, as one of the bookmarks says. So this book basically highlights that, summarizes that, and gives it to you so that you can feel what we feel without feeling what we feel. You get it? You don't get it? Yeah, so it's so that you can see what we go through, understand what we go through, but then of course the humor in the book is to kind of lighten that situation, bring some light to the darkness that we go through, so that we are not transferring that pain to you. So then later, Broken Souls now became a movement, a network. So I'm basically putting together a space, physically and virtually, that we can come together in as humanitarians, as people who, as emergency responders, as frontline workers, and basically as anybody who has gone through trauma or who is going through trauma, so that you can just speak out. At the moment, it's just people speaking to me. I have many. So this QR code, when you scan it, takes you to a lot of the stuff that you do. So at the top, you'll see the website. I think under the picture, you'll see the WhatsApp message, the WhatsApp number rather, link to the WhatsApp. So you tap that link, it immediately connects you to my WhatsApp, our WhatsApp, that goes to Broken Souls or Humanitarian Chronicles, whichever you'll see on your Truecaller. Then it has the direct link to the podcast on Humanitarian Chronicles on YouTube, on the YouTube channel, where you're able to now find the stories that we are putting out there, my stories of other people that I've narrated, and of course the interviews that we are bringing together. Karibu sana. B, is that you? Karibu sana. Good to have you on the show. So on the live. So then you also find Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and the like. So the idea of this is to allow people to have access to us as easily as possible. So this is a sticker basically, and these stickers will take you. We have them being pinned on motorbikes and on buildings and on stuff. I don't know, wherever you want to have them. There's a senator. It's called Denzel. We met him on the way to Turkana on the 30th night at the junction Makutano that now splits off to Kericho and goes to Eldoret. We met him there, and he spoke to Waithaka Mukuria. So the T-shirt Waithaka Mukuria had, it has this logo, Broken Souls, and he was like, "Yo, you're interested? What's Broken Souls? What are you doing there? What's happening?" So Waithaka gave him a summary. Waithaka told him, "Oh, we have the original Broken Soul. Come and see. Come and meet the Broken Souls." So he came and met me. He's an amazing gentleman. He's a senator. I can't remember the name of the place where he not a senator, an MCA. Sorry, he's an MCA. Let me just, I'll find it later. Then I'll probably put in the description, or we're going to have another show or another post with that. And he came over and then he showed us, 2 days later, he put photos of this. He shared us photos of this on his laptop, like paint on his laptop. And he's already scanned and went there, and he found me on WhatsApp and whatever, and he's looking at what we're doing. Yeah, so this flyer also has the QR code right here. Scan it, pop, it brings you everything on the Linktree. Kuweni na Linktree tafadhali, fanyeni Linktree, sivyo? Ni muhimu sana, it helps a lot. And when you see our bookmarks also has the same. The QR code is there. This is the QR code to the Linktree. Again, same thing. That quote I came up with in, I think in Ukraine, one of the nights that were bombed so hard, and I was like, yo, it's January, so let me talk about this. Anyway, that was way after I began doing the book, I think, yeah. And so this comes from this quote at the top of the book. If the bullet was meant to kill you, you would not have had it. I was told this after a shift or an armed bandit attack in Moyale many years ago, and I was so traumatized. And the girl was like, well, relax, but you are alive. If it was meant to kill you, you would have had it. So stuck with me. That was in 2005 when he told me this, a policeman friend of mine, and it stuck with me. So when I was in Ukraine, after bombing, like properly, I realized, if the bomb was meant to kill me, I would not have had it. So the fact that I had it and woke up, it meant maybe I was alive. So why did I digress? Yeah, so basically, so this friend, this fellow, not friend, acquaintance, we were discussing. So I was saying, yeah, the book is about this, and the movement is about this, and yeah, so we are bringing together people with trauma. We are a safe space where you can just open up and talk about your fears, your struggles, no matter how small or big they look. Talk about them, because I'll tell you some of the things. That some of the small things that look small. Someone laughed at me so loud yesterday. He wasn't laughing in bad faith. He was just laughing because it was amusing to him. It's amusing to me when I talk about it now. I'll tell you what happened the other day, and of course in the recent past, stuff that has been happening in relation to my PTSD. Please like, subscribe, share. How that told me, Semanga hii story. I'm like, kumbukanga. And I'll be writing a note on my table. Semanga hii story ya subscribe, like, and share. Yeah, anyway, it helps to have this word spread so that more people can see. So that we have more people understanding about mental health issues and the struggles and the solutions that are there, or possible solutions. So telling this guy all this stuff, and then I talked about depression, and I'm saying, yeah, very soon I'll be talking to one of the universities in the country, or some of the universities in the country. I told him about what has been going around. Part of now the CSR, that Broken Souls Network, is where we are doing all this, bringing people together to talk about their stuff, together to talk about what we are going through. Humanitarian Chronicles is the home of the stories. So this is where we have the interviews, we have the podcast where people can now air the stories that they can tell the public. Two different things, but intertwined. Then, of course, we have, so it's under Broken Souls is where we now talk about tackling trauma together, where we come together, we tackle trauma together, we fight trauma together, we cry together, we laugh together, you have a shoulder to lean on us, and we have a shoulder to lean on in you. So we support each other. And of course we have on board already, we have a few mental health experts. We have a clinical psychologist, PhD holding clinical psychologist, who also happens to be a nun. The day that she gets approval for her to go public from the bishop, we will then speak about it in more public. But she's available to talk to you, even if I talk to you. She's offered to talk to me. I refused, because I don't want chokorang in my head. Now I will go to her before I go for my next mission, which is in about 2 weeks time. I'm deploying in 2 weeks. I was supposed to have deployed actually. I was supposed to deploy last week. I was supposed to have deployed in March. Then it kept moving by week, each week, and basically because it's a war-torn country that I'm going to, and it's been quite crazy there. So I was supposed to have planned for my deployment next week, but then again, war, stuff like that. So I thought, oops, sorry guys, you can't go in. It's a bit hot. It's getting hot in here. So we've been moved to a couple of weeks from now. Anyway, before I deploy, I'll go talk to Daktari, because the things inside here making noise. We don't want them making noise in the field. Well, yeah. So we have psychologists, we have psychiatrists, we have therapists, we have counselors, we have all manner of mental health experts. Then going back to the clinical psychologist, who is a nun, we also have this side of the support, which is spiritual. There are those who prefer or who would love someone with a spiritual inclination to speak to them, pray with them, pray for them, if that is what you want. So we are going to have not just Christians, we are going to have Muslims, we are going to have Hindus, whatever the case may be. We will have them on board, so that if you need that plus the mental health support, that will be available for you. We want to give a holistic package of support. And of course, we're going to be supporting families, the families, the close ones, the community that we have to come back into, so that we can reintegrate, so that we are not being stigmatized, like what I'm about to tell you. We are not being stigmatized, we are not being judged, we are not being misjudged, we are not being mischaracterized, we are not being misinterpreted, we are not being misconstrued, we are not being misunderstood. We want to make that happen, so that it becomes easier for you when you come back from mission, when you come back from whatever you've come back from, when you come back from your mental state that is a bit shaky even for you, then people around you can support you. So so that's what Broken Souls does. That's what Humanitarian Chronicles is all about. That's what I am all about. That's my core thing right now. So I'm talking to this gentleman, the two of them, and then I'm thinking about, I've been in this school, I've been in that school. So the CSR, the corporate social responsibility that I am now running under this, is basically to talk to young people, especially schools. Talk to young people and just tell them, you know what, oya, mimi ni mrasta na mimi si mrazi, mimi ni daktari, na those things. My rhyming power has gone down because I haven't taken breakfast. I love food. Food loves me. Food is addicted to me, but I love it. So I don't judge food. I don't stigmatize food. So I allow it to come to me. Yeah. So I was talking about this, something, yeah, it's important to talk to young people, talk to schools, talk to people in institutions so that they're able to cope. People are struggling. We have young people unaliving themselves in institutions. We have people unaliving themselves when they're going through stuff. We have doctors, military people, policemen, policewomen, people in life unaliving themselves because they can't cope with the situation. It's too heavy for them. We have people going into alcohol, into drugs, or both, because and then he was like, hiyo jinga kwanza hapa Kenya kunanga wapi, Kenya wana na struggle, Kenya nani na trauma. He didn't say it that way, but that's the tone that he used. He was being civil because we were in a place that was quite respectable. But that was, if he had been in an open place where he could speak his mind the way he was saying things, he would have been, hizo ni stories za jaba. Nani akona stress Kenya? Nani ana stress Kenya? Kwani mimi juni haijakiwa sana fakulia? Kwani mimi juni pigo na gona fakulia? Kwani mimi, that's what he was saying. And he was like, hiyo jinga nimeona kwanza US. Hiyo jinga vijana wako siku hizi nimeona sijui wapi. Hiyo jinga. I'm like, bro, si jinga. He's like, hapana. And you see people who sometimes are ignorant but think they know are the worst. You feel, where is that ball? I need to squeeze that ball. Let me squeeze that. You need to squeeze them, bash their heads in. I'm like, bro, what the hell? I thought you were learned. You just told me about how you went to the US, you went to MIT, you've been doing IT and computer sciences for the last 30 years. Why is your brain not braining? I was livid, but I was like, hey, you know what? I listened to him and listened to his story, and the people judge you based on how they respond to things. People judge you based on how good, how strong they are. People judge you based on how they are, and then they think you should be like them. And if you're not like them, then they, of course, mischaracterize you, and they misjudge you, and they misunderstand you, and they misconstrue the things that you're going through. And then, of course, then the stigma starts from there, because they discriminate you based on what they know or what they don't know, what they think they know, yet they don't know. So he went on and on. Hii mambo za kujua, hii mambo za kujitia kitanzi, hiyo jinga. Mimi nimeona hii jinga, ile jinga vijana sikizi. I'm like, bro, I'm not talking about vijana sikizi only. There are the youth of today who we don't just rubbish what they're going through because they're the youth of today. We don't just rubbish stuff because it is Gen Z's. We don't just rubbish stuff because it is Gen A's. We don't just rubbish stuff because it is Generation Beta. Do you have Beta already? I don't know. We don't just rubbish things just because it is this generation that is doing them, because everybody has a particular struggle. It may be different, it may be lighter, it may be heavier. I don't know what you're going through, but I know that when you're going through stuff, in your mind at that particular moment, it is heavy for you. So he went on and on this diatribe. It's diatribe, right? I don't know what diatribe means. So he went on and on this rant that he was really, really like, when somebody does not know but thinks they know, and they want to rub it in your face. And I'm like, bro, let me tell you something now. As a medical doctor and a humanitarian who has gone through this stuff, siyo ujinga. I told him, calm down. Wacha nikupange. Tulia, wacha nikupange. I had to stop him because I was like, bro, what the hell? I was going to leave, but I hadn't eaten lunch, so I couldn't leave. And I was going to leave. I was going to walk out because it was getting to me in a way that I've been through depression a number of times. I've wanted to myself, at least. It's a mental health awareness month, so this month we'll be telling things as they are. I'm no longer feeling stigmatized. You can judge me the way you want, but that was the truth. That is the truth. People need to hear what people have gone through. What people need to hear the not rosy side of the. People need to hear the yucky side that is under the rose that you see. When you see a rose budding so well, there is manure, there's fertilizer, there's stinky down there. This rose that is smelling so nicely up here, there's stinky. It was taken care of. No, that's not what took care of us. We need to be able to talk about the. Thank you so much, my dear. You've liked 4,700 times. I'm saying it is you because I like. Thank you. I really appreciate that. So this gentleman goes on and on, and I'm like, see Ujinga, bro, because the fact that you coped with your stuff, and he was like, yeah, during the post-election violence, I was almost lynched, but I came out. So should I be crying? Should I? I'm like, do you know that your shock absorbers are not the same as my shock absorbers, not the same as shock absorbers of other people? He kept saying about how this is in Gaza, this is in Ukraine, this is in COVID. I'm like, exactamundo. You cannot go to those places. Should I judge you because you can't go to Gaza like I was in Gaza for a year? Should I judge you because you can't go to Ukraine because I was in Ukraine for a year? Should I judge you because you can't go to Ebola response? I was there for 3 years. Should I judge you because you can't go to South Sudan? I was there for 6 years. Should I judge you because you can't go to the next war zone I'm going to in a few weeks time? Should I judge you the same way? And you could see him being deflated nicely. And like, sasa nikupange, wacha nikwambie, now as a medical doctor and a mental health advocate and a mental health expert-ish, I'm getting there. When nikipata PhD yangu, permanent head damage in mental health, I will now say I'm an expert. I'm trained in those. I told him, tulia bro, tulia nikupanga. So I told him, you do realize that people respond to trauma in different ways. People respond to post-traumatic stress disorder in different ways. People respond to stress in different ways. And depending on how their shock absorbers are, depending on how they were raised, depending on how they were born, depending on their genetic makeup, depending on their mindset, depending on how their mind is, they will respond in different ways. There are people who cannot cope, or they've gone through so much they can no longer cope. They can't cope anymore. He was understanding but not understanding, because in his mind he had this preconceived notion that it is idiocy and stupidity for one to want to themselves, analyze themselves. And I had to take him through the steps. I told him, by the time somebody gets to that point where they want to analyze themselves, it is the only solution they can see. That is the only remedy they have. They have tried everything else, and in their minds at that particular moment, that is the one thing that makes a point, that makes a reason, that makes sense for them at that moment. And the pain is so much that they believe if they just did this to themselves, then the pain goes. And yes, it goes. The only problem is those that are left behind now have to carry another level of pain, another type of pain, another kind of pain. So I told him, no, you don't judge people by the fact that you coped. You are strong for whatever reason you cope. He's like, who did I talk to? Who did I talk to? I was hijacked twice. To the point that the third hijacking and the third mugging at gunpoint, they're like, bro, see, already we hijacked yesterday. See you go. I'm like, yeah, that's you. He said, allegedly, his version is that he was almost lynched during the post-election violence in Kibera. I'm like, that's you. I empathize with you. I feel your pain. I told him I was also in a place where I was almost killed. So the thing is this, we are for different communities. So the community that he was saying in Kibera almost lynched him, I was in his community in Kithika, where I was almost by his people, quote unquote. And I was like, yeah, bro, so you are in that side almost lynched by people who are from my community, and I was in your side almost by people from your community. Do you want us to measure the level of almost dying that we did so that now we see who is stronger than the other? He truly had a bit more. Anyway, so I didn't put it in that particular way specifically, but that's where I was driving at, and I think he got the point when I mentioned, I was also in this place, I was also in Thika, and I was under the bed throughout for like 2 weeks when these things were really bad, and we couldn't leave the house and blah, 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 because we were being targeted. He relaxed. I don't know if it got to him, but he relaxed. But the chances that it got to him the negative way, because there's something we had to do together, and he had promised me to tafanya kazi pamoja, and then 3 days later, sioni kama itafanyika, sioni kama itawezekana. I don't see this working out because so story come anyway. So our partnership and collaboration at the moment, at least, is kaput. I don't know. Yeah, it could have been that. It could have been just that things didn't work out the way he had hoped. Planned, thought, hoped. I don't know. See, you, paranoid times 100. Anyway, so I took him through. I told him, by the time someone decides to take themselves out of this equation of life, that is the only solution they have. Because I had been there, I knew when I was at that point that was the only thing that I had left for me. I had nothing else left in this life. So let's talk about depression. Now that I talked about that, the reason why people don't seek for help is because of the judgment, because of the discrimination, because of the stigma they have to go through from those around them. Sometimes, sadly, it's those especially that they love the most. This one is tilting. Is it tilting or am I the one who's tilting? Let me see you. Yeah, so from the people they love the most, the people that they find, they think are the closest to them, are the ones that judge them the hardest, judge them the hardest, and get them into a place where they really don't want to get out of that cocoon of pain, and then they decide, you know what, let me help them. Many times people are, let me help them. Why am I embarrassing them? Why am I bringing so much more pain to them? Let me do this thing. Let me do them a favor. Do them a favor by taking myself out. And they take themselves out. Unfortunately, that's the reality. Here's the thing. I have gone through depression at least 3 times that I remember. The first time it happened, I was in Russia when I was doing my medical school. I think I've touched on this a little bit. It's in the book. And also, I don't mind bearing some of my pains to the public so that people know what I go through, what we go through, so that then it might help you. People have told me the book has helped them. So some of the things there are raw and real, and that's possibly why it's helping them. So I was in Russia, and by the time I went to Russia, I had lost 2 of my elder brothers, and I had lost my dad by that time. And I didn't mourn them. That's why Dr. Caroline wants to poke into my head and figure out where those things are and get them out of the compartments where I've hidden them. And I said no, but I need to go and get it sorted out, because the reason why I think I'm crying of late in public, and this has been happening a lot in the recent past, is because there's a lot that I've been keeping in the back burner. There's a lot that I've been keeping in those compartments. I told you I'm a very good compartmentalizer. I put things in different compartments in my brain, and those I don't want to remember, I put in the back, under, chin here, and put things on top. So yeah, things have been popping up, and I triggered something very painful about 2 months ago, and that now has broken my defense systems and put up walls and stuff like that. So unfortunately for you, I cry easily, but I should not do that, because I don't want to be in front of a patient. I don't want to be in front of someone I'm responding to. I don't want to be in front of somebody who probably has lost everything. I don't want to be in front of somebody who's grieving, and I'm going to help them, and then I'm also crying with them. Not in an emergency response. If it is going to a burial together, that's a different thing. Even condoling a family, that's a different thing. When I'm in a response, when I am the responder, and I am the one who's saving lives, and I am the one who's doing help, I can't afford to be bursting into tears and crying with the person who's in pain. I can't afford to be crashing and looking like I'm also in pain. I feel like I can eat that. Like, can you see what I'm seeing? I can eat that. Those letters. Anyway, yeah. So I can't be allowing myself to be vulnerable in that moment. I can go get vulnerable at home, in my room, in the car going back from mission with my colleagues, but not in front of patients, not in front of the people we're helping. I need to get this sorted out. Kuna kitu hapa imekuwa loose. Daddy, I'm coming for the screws to be cut back. Anyway, so in Russia, by the time I was in Russia, you remember I told you, and you've seen in the book, for those who've seen, those who haven't, you'll see it in the book, I didn't want to do medicine. I never wanted to do medicine. Kimani Kamau yesterday, we were together the whole day, most of the day, from I think mid-morning all the way to the evening, and he asked me something that somebody asked him. There's a lady who got the book, Broken Souls, and was reading through the book, and based on what she had read, she realized that I was struggling being a doctor for a long time. Even after graduation, for a long time after graduation, I didn't want to be, but I had become. And she asked Kimani, the lady asked Kimani, Ebu, has your friend now found his purpose in medicine? And Kimani said, from the interaction we've had together in the last several weeks, he sees that I found my purpose in medicine. So he asked me, have you found your purpose? I'm like, you know what? I have. I now have found my purpose in medicine. And of the 5-6 things that I do, full-time careers basically, medicine, acting, writing, advocating for mental health, what else do I do? I do many things. Advocating for mental health, being a stand-up comedian, and hosting the show, and being a writer has all come into one thing, which is geared towards mental health. So mental health is my purpose. I believe that's what I've done subconsciously, unconsciously, unwillingly sometimes, in all the missions I've been in the last 13 years. I've always fought for mental health support. Always fought for it. For communities, it is there by default. It's a program that is there under behavior change communication, under mental health support, and MHPSS. It is there. Mental health and psychosocial support, it is there. It's a program, or the programs we set up and we run for the community. What we've never had proactively is mental health support for ourselves, for us, for our colleagues. We've never had that. It is there in policy, it is there in small bits here and there. It is there in a medical insurance package that if you get cuckoos will help you. That's not what we are talking about. We're talking about a robust and proactive system that is full across the whole continuum of care, pre-deployment, during deployment, post-deployment, so that before I go in, someone supports me and helps me understand. When I'm in, when I'm struggling, someone is helping me through. And when I come out, somebody comes and debriefs me and gets out all the gunk, the mentally, the trauma that I've gone through, so that I'm able to go back into another cycle of mission and activities without the previous baggage. I can tell you now for a fact, I have baggage of minimum 22 years being a medical doctor that has just sat on me and has never been dealt with, because not because I don't want to, sometimes I don't want to, but because we don't have a robust system. Where do I go to today? Tell me, if you're working in government, where do you go to today? I know there is a mental health department and it's everywhere, but where do you go to as an individual when you're struggling mentally? Who will you run to today? In your organization, who will you run to today? To HR? Who will you go to today? To the insurance company? Who will you go to today if you're struggling? I would have to go and Google and find somebody and then look for 6,000 to 10,000 shillings per hour, per session, to talk to a psychologist, to talk to a therapist, to be able to support, to get support. Per hour. It won't be one session. It will be several sessions. And I would have to pay that to get that service delivered to me. Now tell me, the common mwananchi who does not probably have a job and is going through trauma, where will that person run to? Even before the common mwananchi, even just the run of the mill, is that the phrase, the run of the mill person who is even employed, fully employed and earning well, would have to first of all find that person. After finding them, hopefully know that they're going to the right person, because there are many quacks nowadays and many people doing weird things in the name of medicine, in the name of all these things that they're doing. And you don't want to go to the wrong person and get the wrong advice, or get maltreated or get misdiagnosed, or all that kind of thing. And we have had many people who've been misdiagnosed over the years and then getting the wrong treatment, not getting the right treatment, not getting treatment completely because the person who was seeing them did the wrong thing. You don't want that. You have to go and find that person, first of all, and then pay them several sessions, several thousands, over several sessions to get it. That said, where do you even find them in the first place? Where are they? Yes, I know if you went to Google today, you'll find all kinds of therapists and counselors and this and the other, and by name. You can't vet that person because sometimes you don't know. I would probably be able to say, I'm like, bro, where did you study? Madam, where did you study? What did you study? And then I'm like, but it's because I'm trained. I'm a medical doctor and I've done mental health as part of my training, and I've done mental health further as trainings because of the work that I do. How many people can do that? How many people can actually vet these people by themselves? So, because there's no proactive system, then people struggle. Many people struggle. Most people struggle because there are no proactive systems in place to support mental health issues. So that's part of what we are doing right now, and that's part of what we want to create. So I think I digressed, and I've forgotten what my train of thought was. Thank you. That's what I do all the time. Thank you, mademoiselle. Do you remember where I was before I went into this whole tangent? No? Yes. Okay, cool. Anyway, Russia. So I went and I'm struggling there. I hadn't grieved properly. I hadn't mourned properly. I hadn't dealt with the pain and the loss. So I'm here in Russia, and I just went into a depressive state, into a horrible depressive state. That was in my year 2 of medical school. I've talked about this extensively, so I won't go into it again in depth. So, but yeah, I was in this situation where I wanted to I was so done. I had so much pain. I didn't know what the pain was about. I didn't know where it was coming from. It's now that I can tell you, looking back, it was about my late father and my late brothers. That time I had no clue. I was just in pain. I was just hurting. I was just struggling. There was so much noise in my brain, in my mind. My heart was just aching all the time. I did not want to live anymore. So this one night, I just went and bought, and I just began now drinking like a mad person. I would buy huge mzingas of vodka and drink them neat, like from the bottle, like a 1 liter bottle of vodka. And that time, those 1 liters, I don't think were in Kenya that time in 1996-ish, thereabouts. I don't think they had it, but in Russia they were there. That's why they make them. Smirnoff, not Smirnoff, Smirnoff. And I would drink, and in my mind I was hoping that I would get alcohol intoxication, alcohol poisoning, and go. Wake up in the morning with a bad headache and a pain all over the body, and I was still there. Then I'd go buy another one, and I would drink again and buy and drink, and the cycle would continue for weeks on end. And I stopped going to school, and I stopped connecting with people, and I basically stopped talking to my colleagues and my friends. And eventually it was realized, yo, bro, something is going on with you. So the dean of students summoned me after 6 months of me not being in school. She was like, there are two options. Either we expel you, or we give you a chance, go home, fix your ish, and come back. I'm like, I don't even want this, but okay, let's try the chance, and then we see. If I come back, I come. I don't come back, I don't come back. So that's how I ended up leaving. That's how I ended up doing 8 years of medical school instead of 7. It's 1 year language plus 6 at medical school. I did 1 year language, then I did this 6 plus the year I repeat, so 7 years in medical school because of the depression. Had to leave, left for a year, came back and repeated year 2. Left for 6 months and came back and repeated year 2. So yeah, that is the first time it happened. The second time is when I had to quit my job here in Kenya. The NGO I was working for, the situation became very toxic, and it was toxic because of the work I was doing. For those who don't remember, I was the founder of Cheka Mtoyaishi, Laugh and Save a Baby, Laugh and Save a Newborn, basically a charitable organization, charitable trust that was using comedy and acting as a tool for awareness creation on neonatal morbidity and mortality, neonatal sickness and deaths, newborn, and using my knowledge as a medical doctor and experience to figure out what to do with that. So basically we're looking at putting space heaters, room heaters in every health facility, preferably in every delivery room or theater where children are of course brought into the world through cesarean section. And then that heater, that room heater, allows for the initial 5 minutes of life to warm this baby so that this baby does not get hypothermia, extremely low low body temperature, and doesn't get pneumonia, infection of the lungs from their inability to regulate temperature in the first few minutes of life. So that's what we did, and by the time we were done in 2.5 years, we had donated room heaters to not less than 150 health facilities across Kenya, and 2 heaters went to Zanzibar. What is the name of the hospital? I keep forgetting. It's a very interesting, funny name. The main facility in Zanzibar. I keep forgetting the name. I'll remember one day. So yeah, so we did that. So as I was doing that, I was doing it on the weekends, purely on the weekends, purely Saturday, Sunday. But for some reason, somebody at the organization was like, you're doing something we don't like because you're doing something we should have done with the USAID funding many years before, and we didn't do it. So they're like, yo. Anyway, so it became toxic. They tried firing me using the excuse that I had absconded duty. I had undergone an appendectomy, basically removal of my appendix, and I was in hospital for 3 days after the surgery. Then I went home, and officially I had requested for leave. It was in the system online. It was approved, and I had emails to confirm they had approved it. My boss had approved it. HR had approved it. Then when I went on this sick leave, they were like, "Oh, you absconded duty, so you are not working with us. So you don't want to work with us." So I'm like, like, yeah. So see, I leave for you your work. See, mama, I won't do it. It's nobody's mother's job. I left it, the work for them. Anyway, at that time, I was doing the charity work, so I basically focused on the charity work. I was broke. You know, I was doing okay because I was using my savings. But reportee, Wanjiko is in the room. The other time she came in the room, then my I had to turn off my live. Leo siharibu live yangu. Joking, maybe not. Ebu tell us how your book thing went the other day. Also, yeah, tutaongea kando. Wale kwa tenda. My nose can talk. Anyway, that's not part of the video. Anyway, commercial break. Yeah, so what was I saying? What was I saying? Wewe deport umekuja umedeport mawazo zangu kwenda huko. Anyway, so I quit. I went into the charity work full time. Initially, things were good because I had my savings. Then also, of course, I had my funds coming in from the comedy shows. We go to the comedy show. Whatever people would pay, we'd use that money, and part of it would go. Majority of it actually going to buy room heaters. Then I would have to deliver. So even if you gave me whatever amount of money and I bought heaters, now the delivery part was on me because we were not. That wasn't catered for in the cost of. Whatever we were getting from the crowd. We were trying to, as much as possible, to use as much of the money for the heaters themselves, not the transportation, not the delivery. And health facilities in Kenya are broke, perpetually broke. Even when there's money, they're broke. So they could not do the delivery part of it. I had to now deliver them physically to those facilities across. So you can imagine 150 facilities across the country. I delivered heaters, or at least with my colleagues who eventually joined me. These colleagues are colleagues from the entertainment industry, colleagues from Harper News, colleagues from the Reed Houses of Kangwari, and the ones that, and some of them are from other comedy shows in the country, who are kind enough to support me and join me and, of course, do this work. So, so around this time, I quit my job. I was just done with the toxicity, and I quit and went into full-time charity work, and I was supposed to get quite a good, what's it called? I was supposed to get a very good kind of like package, not package as such, but support from one of the big banks in Kenya who had accepted my proposal, had accepted the whole idea of the concept, and they were going to fund it for quite some significant period. 1 week to the day of approval, they just went underground. They just shut down, no calls, not picking any calls, not responding to any emails, not responding to any call, to messages or nothing, and they just went quiet. I don't know what happened, they just went quiet. Yeah, so I'm here, broke, moneyless, penniless. I've not paid rent for 9 months. I've not paid people. I've not paid vendors. I've not paid the people supporting me. I had a few friends who were supporting me. Couldn't pay them. And yeah, so that went under. Around the same time, there were issues in the family, in the house, in the marriage that were quite, one day I'll tell you, maybe not, quite heavy, to the point I was like, you know what, I'm done with this life. I'm like, I won an award, the Jubilation, I met an award, I was on every newspaper, I was on TV, I was on radio, I was online, my name was everywhere, Chekam Tuyaishi, Dr. David Osambra, Saving Lives with Laughter, but I had nothing to show for it. My 2 daughters, by that time my son wasn't born yet, my 2 daughters, I could barely pay, I couldn't pay their school fees anymore. I had to quit that school and go to another school altogether, to a public school, which is okay, nothing wrong with public school, but at that time I had them already in private school, and I was hoping that they would stay there. I wasn't able to pay rent, as I said. I wasn't able to buy them diapers consistently. I would go buy one diaper, because Kathy was still the one using diapers. Angel was already old enough not to. I would go buy one diaper and just hope that Kathy doesn't pee too much or poop too much in the night that it burns her. Then hope to get some money for another diaper the next day. That's how it was for me. At that time, I was struggling to put food on the table. I was struggling to just support my family. It was bad. So it reached a point I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. This is too much. And it was like 6 months of that. 9 months I didn't pay rent. So you can imagine. So that the rent issues is on my back, on my head. Then we have all these other things that are going on around. And then of course now the squabbles in the family. And of course there are a lot of stories, people talking. talking behind my back, talking around me. We had friends who went to the school and talked ish about my family to one of the teachers, and the teacher decided to bully my daughter, Angel, my firstborn daughter, to the point I got out of that school, and this was like, oh, you're being too sensitive. You shouldn't. I'm like, you're bullying a teacher is bullying my daughter, and I'm being sensitive. I was going to either punch you in the teeth, the back teeth, or leave the school. Choose one. Choose the punch in the teeth, the back teeth, or I leave the school for you. So we opted to leave the school without punching him in the teeth. Anyway, yeah. So it was that bad. It was that bad. Even friends around me were not talking trash about me. Lies, but trash. And it was that bad. So one day I just said, you know what, I'm done with this. I had to. The only solution I had, because I was like, hey, this is no longer interesting. It's no longer fun. No longer useful to me. I need to get out of this place. I need to take this pain away from my family. I need to take this pain away from those that love me. I need to take this pain away from myself. Yeah, so I wanted to. The story is in the book. Go and read the full story, what I wanted to do, and how I wanted to do it, and how I didn't want to do it, and how it was a weird experience. So that was, then eventually I was lucky to go for Ebola response. When I failed to do this, I failed to take myself out. I just went online and applied for Ebola jobs. The plan was, this is something I revealed for the first time about a week or two ago. The plan was, I go for Ebola response, and because Ebola has 80% mortality rate, 80% of the people die, so out of every 10 patients, 8 will die, I will catch Ebola. I wasn't going to look for it. I will get Ebola, and then it will take me out, and then I would still be out of this equation. Yeah, I kill him, I failed even in that one. See, I had failed the first time. I had failed in Russia. I had failed this time. That plan I had, which you see in the book for yourself, or watch the podcast where I talked about that, or watch the other posts on YouTube and TikTok. I talked about that. So I can't be telling you the story all the time. So you also go and watch so that the algorithm can see you watching. Yeah. If you see, Irene, you're saying if you see a Baba, you will reduce 10 years. I don't want to reduce 10 years. You see a Baba and reduce 10 years. Mimi niko tu sawa na 51 yangu, because hata nikinyoa bado niko 51. Irene, pole, you advised me. Nimekata. People have tried that. People have tried those to stingo ati ende unyoe unashtua watu. Shtukeni. Kwendeni huko. Natushtua. Shtukeni. Sinyo Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so I failed in the initial one when I tried my drinking in Russia. I failed in, what's it called? I failed in the one before Ebola, before going to Ebola. And then I failed in getting Ebola. I'm not proud that I wanted to. I'm proud that I failed. I'm a proud failure. Then that was 2023. 2023. The first one is 1996 or so. Then just before Ukraine happened. Yeah, Ukraine happened in 2023. Ebola happened 2013, 2014. So I tried the first one just before Ebola. I tried the second one just before Ebola. The first one was in Russia, 1996, then 95, 96, and then the second time was in here in Kenya just before Ebola, around 2014, early 2014. Mid 2014. Before I went for Ebola response in November 2014. Then now the third time was now just before Ukraine. Just before Ukraine was 2023, around May 2023. Again, this time I had no job for about 6 months. So of course I had been searching. Not that I was sitting at home doing nothing. I had been searching for a job, and unfortunately, again, things went sour at home. And of course, for me, the only thing that breaks me, the only thing that can ever break me is family. The only thing that can ever break me is my home. The thing that can ever break me is those closest to me turning against me. It happened again. So it had happened in 2013, 2014, it had happened. Now again, 2023, it was happening. And it got so bad, I just woke up. I didn't wake up. It got so bad that I did not again want to. I can promise you, as I promised myself that time, that if I survive, unanicheka kwa nini? Unacheka nywele zangu zimekata. The hair, it don't move. The beard, it don't move. Anyway, I saw a repeat of 2013, 2014 happening in 2023. Basically copy and paste. And it got so bad, I was like, you know what, this time I am done. Oh, I promised myself never do it again, so I will never do it again. Never, ever, ever. I told myself in 2023 that if I survived this time, I will never allow another human being in this life to make me get to a point of such darkness that I want to take myself out. Never again. I had yielded so much of myself, I had yielded so much of my ability, I had yielded so much of my power, I had yielded so much of my life to another, to the point that I didn't have a life myself, so that my identity was basically around that person. My identity mentally was around this person, so that if this person wasn't happy, then I wasn't happy. If this person was struggling, I was struggling. If this person was unhappy, then I was in that state. If this person did not appreciate me, it affected me. Now where I am, if you don't appreciate me, I just I create my space where people appreciate me. If they don't, I can create my space where I appreciate me. I lost myself over years, more than a decade, almost 2 decades of me losing myself for the sake of somebody else. And then, whoa. Anyway, yeah, sorry for another day. So I told you 1 year from now, 1 year from 2 months ago. So wait, I'll tell you one day, maybe not. Yeah, so I was done. I overdosed on something. And in this overdosing, I was overdosing, not necessarily intentionally to take myself out this time, but I was overdosing to see how far I could go. I studied everything. I had studied. It's telling me drag the puzzle. Hold on, let me drag the puzzle into place. It's in place. We've detected inactivity. How do you detect inactivity? My friend here is liking. People are joining. People are listening. I am talking. That's inactivity. So I'm supposed to be tapping myself, tapping as I talk. So then you can take talk. Anyway, I was basically done at that time. I was done, and I wanted to leave. I couldn't take it anymore. That the people I considered closest to me were the ones who were farthest from me. So I overdosed. I was testing to see, because I had researched and I saw that X number of tablets, X number of milligrams will take you out. So let's see how X number, just below 1 tablet less, would do. And I was kind of in the back of my mind hoping that it would take me out. It did. But the pain was, I felt like somebody took my heart and was crunching it like this the whole night. I felt like somebody had taken my stomach and was just doing this with my intestines. I felt like somebody took my head and was crying. You've seen those videos on TikTok and on social media, whatever, where this big thing crushes stuff. I felt like someone was crushing my head in. I was in so much pain. But before I did this, I wrote myself a note, a very long note on WhatsApp, and sent it to my other number. And the idea was that if I didn't make it that night, it would be seen by my family, and especially the person that was closest to me, to be able to see what it is that I had gone through that got me to this point in this particular night. But then at the bottom I said, if I survive this, never again will any human being get me to that point of darkness just because I love them, that I will be in so much pain because they are not reciprocating, that I want to take myself out. I promise, that was the end of it, that if I survived, it would never happen again. But the if was if I survived. No one didn't survive me. Even death did not want me. So I keep saying that death and I have become like buddies. Buddy. Alicia, baby, thank you very much. Alicia, baby, thank you very much for joining, for watching, for being a long-time watcher. Irene, thank you very much for watching, for being here, for joining, for supporting, for liking the like. Mbona una jina? Let me tap and see. you don't have a name. Why don't you have a name? Where is your name? Where is your name? Oh, it says Ted Asuna. What's your name, Ted Asuna? Ted Asuna? I'm a Ted Asuna. Ted Asuna. Anyway, so Ted, thank you. You've liked 10,000 times. Okay, maybe not just you, but as you've liked. Thank you for liking. Thank you very much. We are winding up, so I have to stop tapping. Anyway, Ted Asuna, mental health is a worst support, especially in Mental health is a worst support, especially in health, the shame and the trauma. Oh, you are so right. You are so right. There's how they make you feel. There's how we are made to feel as health workers. That if you go to seek mental health support, wewe ni mjinga, wewe ni cheesy, wewe huwezi kufanya job. That's basically how you're made to feel, and you're not comfortable enough to actually seek support. As I said, I already have a number of ex-military and active military people with me on WhatsApp. We're engaging on WhatsApp. Part of the idea why we're doing it remotely on WhatsApp is then no one knows who they're talking to, no one knows what they're saying, and we're able to chat and we're able to communicate and able to talk on the phone. Then if they want to meet me, when you see Mutun Harasta EV, do you even think this is a medical doctor talking about mental health? So they think that I am the one who's mentally unhealthy and they're talking to me, helping me. helps to like take away that pain, take away that judgment from the people. So people judge me and don't judge the person I'm talking to. So that's the idea. Okay, that's not why I got locks, but it helps. Yeah. Now where was I? Yeah. So I overdosed on the drugs, and yeah, it was a painful 24 hours. Painful. Okay, initially it was very painful for the first hour before I blacked out. Then I blacked out for 23 hours. I was on the way out. And yeah, I almost began to sing "Hello from the other side" because I was going. I didn't go. Death was like, "Yo, bro, man, not yet. Go back to earth. Go back. There's more suffering to be done." And the more suffering to be alleviated, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, so I didn't analyze myself, and yeah, so I went back to that message 2 days later, and I read the message again. Yeah, it was I was in pain. I was in pain, not physical pain. I was in mental anguish. I was in mental suffering. I was being tormented mentally by stuff that I have gone through, that I've lived through, that I did not want to continue surviving through, and of course the fact that those I considered closest to me were those who happened to be farthest from me. It wasn't the first time, not the second time. It happened again with somebody else. Anyway, yeah, so that's it. I shouldn't be shouting. People are sleeping in this house. Look like I'm a supervisor for night runners. Yeah, so I swore and I promised myself, and I can promise you now, hold me accountable, that I will never allow another human being to get me to that point of darkness that I want to take myself out, ever. I'm glad I didn't. I don't know if I'm making a difference in this life, but I'm glad I didn't take myself out. Hopefully I'm making a difference. I know for a fact that I am damaged goods. Apart from being broken soul, number more the broken soul, the broken soul, the OG broken soul. I also know that I'm damaged goods. I know. Acceptance is very important. I know I'm damaged goods. But now what do I do? See, now broken souls is going to be hopefully the fix, or a part of the fix. Anyway, so very, very quickly as I wind up this show, and let's talk about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So this is a condition that basically, in simple terms, comes about in the mind of one who has gone through trauma, whereby now there's a disorder in the brain that has kicked in, and they begin to view things via the lens of the traumatic experiences or the traumatic experience they went through. So everything that they view, or most things they view it through that lens. So things happening around them, they perceive them based on the trauma. So the trauma is what now kind of guides their life. It's not a decision, it just happens, and the mind just shifts and begins to tell you things, or to do things, or show you things. So the other day, as you are aware, or you're not aware, we went to Turkana. So there were 4 of us in the vehicle. I was driving, then there was Wadhaka Mukuria, the producer, we had Kimani Kamau, Daktari, and we had Emily Werimo in the car all the way. So I drove from Nairobi with Wadhaka, picked Wadhaka from his place, went all the way to Nyeri, picked Emily Werimo, went through Gilgil, picked Kimani Kamau, went all the way to Turkana. On the way back, we dropped Kimani Kamau in Nakuru, went to Nyeri through Olkara Onyaururu, then back to Nairobi, dropped Wadhaka, I came home. I didn't drop Wadhaka home. I dropped him at a point where he could pick it because I was now too tired to go all the way to drop him and come back home. So anyway, so on the way back in Nyeri, Emily and Wadhaka can tell you this. In Nyeri, as we were approaching Chaka, a motorbike, I saw a motorbike coming. It's around 6 p.m. 7 p.m. It's getting a bit dark. We saw the motorbike coming. We heard it coming. It was a sports bike, and with this enhanced exhaust, it was really loud. So it passed in the opposite direction. We had seen it coming. I had seen it coming because I was driving. I saw it coming this way, and I heard the sound from far. Nothing happened. The moment it passed and that exhaust hit that loud sound, I literally shrank on the steering wheel and slowed down physically. I stepped on the brakes, because my brain told me those were explosions going by. And my brain told me, bro, it's time to pee on yourself. Yo, I didn't pee on myself, but it scared the crap out of me. Imagine I knew what it was. I knew it's a motorbike. I saw it coming, but the moment it passed, and as it was going, it kept doing that for like a few kilometers down the road. I could still hear it, and each time it made the sound, as I was saying, Wadhaka, yo, what the hell? And Emily is like, usijali, koto sawa. I'm like, siko sawa. I didn't say that, but in my mind, I'm like, siko sawa. Why am I reacting to that motorbike? That is not the first time I've had a motorbike do that in this way. The last time I had an explosion was in Gaza in 2024 October. That was the last time I had an explosion. So why am I reacting this way? What is wrong with me? Maybe if I shake like this, I'll hear things dangling inside there, because it was bad. That wasn't the first time. Remember I told you about my first tour from Ukraine, my first break from after Ukraine. I came back home to Nairobi. I just arrived that night, went to bed by around 9 p.m., 10:30 in the night. Again, in the Ndegwa, motorbike passed. I jumped out of bed. I went and picked my quick run bag, picked my laptop bag, and I was on the way out of the room. But in my mind, I'm thinking, wait, why does this house look more familiar than the house in Ukraine? Why am I in Ukraine? Explosions are going on. Why do I look like I'm home? Why is my family? Google, will you stop talking to me? I'm like, what am I doing at home? Why is my family? Am I in Ukraine? Did I carry my home to Ukraine? Did I carry my house to Ukraine? Did I carry my family? Why am I crazy? Why is my family in Ukraine and there's a war in Ukraine? What am I doing here? So for a minute, a good 60 seconds, my brain could not fathom why I was with my family in Ukraine and there are explosions and I need to get them out to the basement. And how, if evacuation happens, how will I get them out? Because the company evacuates me, they don't evacuate my family, and all this in my mind. And I'm like, let's go to the basement. And I'm being told, no. Which basement? Why are we in the basement? I'm like, did you hear the explosion? Did you hear the 2 explosions that just hit right now? They hit so close. They hit so close. We need to go to the basement now for our safety. Go get the kids. Wake up the kids. I'll wake up Joe. You wake up the girls in the room. We go. And I'm told, no, you are home. Bro, you're home. You're in the Ndegwa. Then, in the second minute, I'm like, wait a minute. I am home. This is my bedroom in the Ndegwa. Oh, wait. So I sat on the bed. I'm like, oh, I'm home. Then I went back to bed. Before I forget, I need to say something. So, South Sudan, when just after the UN and emergency responders and NGOs were allowed to enter, that was in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, when now like the civil conflict had kind of calmed down, so the UN were coming in to the bail and support, and NGOs are coming in. So those days there weren't much buildings, there were not that much housing. options in Juba and in South Sudan for that matter. So people are living in tents, the small tents, like small tents. You'd have to come in and you walk in, you bend and you enter and you squat or you sit on your mattress all through. So we're being told a story by this guy who was inside, who was there in those years. He's saying, yeah, he used to enter, and when he needed to change, because the tent was like here, I'm now seated, so the tent is like here. So he couldn't stand to dress up. So he would lie down on the mattress, put on his trousers like this, and he just go, put on the trousers, then sit up and put his shirt. He did that for about 2 years. I think the tours are 2 years long. So when he got back home, he's in the house with his wife. He sits down on the floor. He took his pants, his trousers, sat on the floor, and was like, and the wife is like, bro, nini mba? He's like, nini sinavaa nguo. She's like, why are you lying on the floor to put on trousers? He's like, kwani how do people put on trousers? Part of PTSD. His mind switched. And for him, it was a normal thing to lie down on the floor, put your legs up and put on trousers on the floor. Because for 2 years, that is the only way he could put on trousers, living in a small tent. It stuck with him. So these things stick with us sometimes. The other day, so the Kinyambi in the Ndegwa, the loud exhaust in the Ndegwa discombobulated me for a while. And I went back to bed, and the next morning I was being asked, oh, bro, what happened? I'm like, I had explosions. I literally had explosions. I didn't hear a bike. I had explosions. And explosions meant go to the basement. There's no basement in the Ndegwa. I was running to the basement, at least in that building. I keep telling you, I have my quick run bag in my room, and I'm in Nairobi. I have a quick run bag, and I have my laptop on standby. If anything happens, I just go pick and go. Anyway, so crazy. One time, I don't know why I shouldn't be peeing on the side of the road, but I needed to pee. So this was literally in front of, not too far from my house, my apartment, but my apartment that time was on the 5th floor, so I knew I was not going to get to the house. I had been pressed for like 2 hours, got off the matatu, I'm rushing home, and I realized I'm going to pee on myself in front of the watchman if the gate is locked. Best case scenario, I'll pee along the stairs going upstairs. I'm like, Bush, if you need water, let me ammoniarize you. Let me give you some fluids. You're thirsty. So I got, Venom. My bike is called Venom. Anyway, so I stood. See, there's a small tarmac stretch, and then there's grass, not far from where I live. And then there's grass, there's a bush, yeah, so the grass and then there's a bush. So I needed to really pee, and the bush is over there. And I began walking, stepping off the tarmac, and I stopped and I froze. For like 30 seconds, I just froze. I couldn't step on the grass to go to the bush to pee. Because in my mind, in Ukraine, I was in Ukraine for whatever reason. I don't know, I go to Ukraine in my mind. I just came off of Matatu. Matatu's in Ukraine. So in my mind, I'm in Ukraine. And in Ukraine, you don't step onto the grass because landmines were being packed right under the tarmac or on the fields. So you're not supposed to. All the training I had prior to Ukraine and then now being in Ukraine, we had seen landmines right under the tarmac. So if you were to step off the tarmac, kaboom. So in my mind, I was about to step on a landmine potentially, so I froze. I had to consciously remind myself, bro, hapa ni Ndegwa, hapa si Ukraine, uko tu sawa, endo nyore. Yo. Anyway, finally, I don't sleep past 3 a.m. That's why I was celebrating at the beginning of the live that I slept up to 5 a.m. I never sleep. It's been a long time that I've seen 5 a.m. 5 a.m. finds me awake. So today I woke up at around 4:55. I'm like, yes, I made it. Because since 2024 October, after leaving Gaza, my sleep has never gone past 3 a.m. Because as I've told you before, and I say this again, the bombing in Gaza during the active war, now there's ceasefire-ish, they're still being bombed, unfortunately. But during the time that there was active conflict, missiles were dropping every hour. Every single hour there was a missile drop. Tanks were basically boom, boom, boom. every 30 minutes. Gunshots. Gunshots was like hearing a matatu passing. Gunshots is like hearing a vehicle passing. Gunshots were every second, basically every minute of the gunshot, or ta, whichever the case. It's gunshots are the common. We didn't fear gunshots anymore. We feared explosions. We didn't fear gunshots. They were too common. They were too common in Gaza. Now this was during the day. Then unfortunately at night, then we had a drone. There was a drone always up in the air. It was just 24 hours because there are drones. There were drones 24 hours. Then quadcopters, which are come lower, smaller. They would come and just hover around your building. Also, remember, even the quadcopters had payload. They could drop something explosive or could shoot. The drones, of course, had missiles on them. The quadcopters will be there, like hovering, and they're loud. They're extremely loud, and they'll just be hovering out your window at 3 in the morning. But now here's the thing. Every morning at 3 a.m., every single morning, like clockwork, at 3 a.m., like clockwork, not clockwork, they would then intensify the missile drops. So that now, instead of the hourly missile drops, it was every 5 to 10 minutes was a missile drop, every 5 to 10. So 3 a.m. you're awake. That's where now the tagline, this saying, if the bomb was meant to kill you, you would not have had it, intensified in my mind, because in Gaza, there are no early warning systems like you have in Ukraine. Ukraine, you have early warning systems. You have the air raid alert, and we have Telegram groups, we had the Signal groups, we had WhatsApp groups where there will be intelligence people telling you where there will be a missile coming in from this side to this side. It might be hit, it might fall, it might drop, it might hit. So go to the basement, stuff like that, go to the bunker. You kind of had an idea of what was going to happen and from which direction sometimes. Sometimes you just hear the boom, then the siren. So sometimes, of course, those things fly at supersonic speed. In Gaza, we don't have that. In Gaza, there's no air raid alert. In Gaza, there's no bunker to go to. In Gaza, it is the explosion that wakes you up. It is the explosion that lets you know there is an explosion coming. It is the explosion that lets you know there's a missile coming. So when you hear a boom and you hear it, you are probably alive. And then utaenda wapi? Where do you go to? There's no bunker to go to. So you just hold your shit and you're waiting. Okay, so things just happen. So what do I do? Are they going to tell us to run? Will they tell us to enter the armored vehicle and go to the border and hope to escape before another one drops? We don't know. That's Gaza for you. So 3 a.m. has been my cut-off time every single day. Dorcas Solomon, thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for being a star in my life. I really appreciate that. I need to thank everybody who has been a long-time watcher. I'm coming to you right now before I close the live. So please like, please subscribe, please tap, please share, please let people know that we're doing this, and go to the YouTube channel. This whole live will be on the YouTube channel, Humanitarian Chronicles, on YouTube. That's the name of the channel. That's the name of the podcast. I'll post it there, the whole of it. Please go and like it. Please go and share. Please go and comment. Please engage. There will be a linktree link also in the description. Please click that and then go to our website, go to our WhatsApp. If you have a need, you want to talk to us, you want someone to talk to us, share with them the number, share with them the link so they can access us. Go to all our other socials and see what we do, other than just being serious sometimes, which I'm not ever. I forgot sleep. So it's that's why I really celebrate when I wake up at 5 in the morning. I wake up at 4:30 because for me that's something that is major. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Please do not be afraid to talk to someone. If you're struggling, and all of us are struggling at one level or another, talk to somebody. If you can't, Broken Souls is here. Broken Souls Network is here for you. I will post the link to Linktree in the description as I post this video on YouTube and as I post the snippets on here on TikTok, so you can see. And also just go to the description of my TikTok page and all my socials. The Linktree is there. Click there. You will find a WhatsApp number. Click that WhatsApp link. It will take you to the WhatsApp number of Broken Soul. Let's chat. as I said, I've been chatting already, and I'm talking to people who are ex-KDF, who are active KDF, who are medical doctors, who are nurses, and we are talking about what we go through. It's a safe space. Broken Souls basically is a safe space for us to come and share the struggles we have. Each one of us has a different struggle, but sometimes they're very similar. Sometimes mine is heavier, mine is lighter. I'm talking to you, and I feel, oh, yeah, but mine is not so bad. I can cope. How did you cope? How did I cope? And then we figure that out together. If you then are not able, if we are then not able to figure it out, then we have specialists on board in the network who can support you. And if you need prayers, we have someone who can pray with you, pray for you, pray around you. We can do that for you. And yeah, and family members, those who have people that they're struggling with, someone has approached me and said, hey, listen, I need you to help me with this. I talked to the person, then they said, my sister is going through this, and then they are referring the sister to me. That is something that we do. That's what Broken Souls is all about. So one more time, Humanitarian Chronicles is the home of the stories of humanitarians and emergency responders and frontline workers and anybody who is doing charity work. This is the space. Let us know. We will interview you. We let people know what you do. As you've seen, we have 3 interviews so far. We have more coming up, amazing interviews coming up, and you will love them on the YouTube channel. But then also, Broken Souls is where we come and we talk to each other. No? So karibuni sana, let us talk, let us engage, let us support each other, let us lift each other up, let us prompt each other, so that a new highlight was auto-pasted to help you attract more viewers. I have no idea what highlight that is. Siju. Me, I don't know about lives, by the way. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. I'm trying. Trying and struggling is struggling. I've just made up that word now. That joke. Anyway, as we wind up very, very quickly, I just remind you where the books are located. I wrote them somewhere because I keep forgetting where the books are located. Anyway, so number 1, we have the books at Kibanga Books here in the Nairobi CBD at what's it called? At Corner House on the 5th floor. Then we have them at Nuria Bookstore. Nuria Bookstore is at the junction of Moi Avenue and Tubman Road, the Bazaar building on the 1st floor, Nuria Bookstore. Then we have Nuria Bookstore in Mombasa, in Nyali, in Links Arcade. You can go there and get the book there. We have the book at Carol Bookstore. Carol Bookstore is an online platform. carolbookstore.com is an online platform where you can order the book online, then they deliver to you the physical copy. It's like kind of like Amazon, but for the physical copy. We have the books in Ratoro Bookstore, all the way in Kisumu City. We have the books there, so you can grab from there. At the Organic Farmers Market in Karen, we have them at Keki in a Cup. Keki in a Cup has very good keki in a cup. So grab a copy of the book, grab a coffee for the keki, and enjoy. So when you go to Keki in a Cup at Karen Organic Farmers Market, look for Keki in a Cup, look for Bilha. You'll just see her, red or pink hair. I've never known that color. And you'll find her there. Amazing lady, amazing cakes, amazing cupcakes, and amazing books. Yeah, so grab them from there. We also have them in Nyeri. You look for Emily Warimo on Facebook, on TikTok, on whatever. Emily Warimo, the traveling librarian, has them in Nyeri at the library. They are in Turkana at the Turkana Community Library with Kagweri and Burungi. They are in Naivasha with Kimani Kamau. So talk to Kimani Kamau about them in Naivasha. You can get your copies from there. We also have them at the Bookworm Cafe in Gigiri Courtyard. The Bookworm Cafe in Gigiri Courtyard has the books over there. We have them on Amazon.com and on Kobo.com for those of you who only love the soft copy or cannot access the hard copies. If you're out of the country, you can get them on Amazon.com. If you have an Amazon, a Kindle-enabled device or a Kindle device, if you don't have, then it will tell you, and you can go to Kobo.com and get the book from there. We were talking about another bookshop. We thought we would work with them, but if somebody is taking 46% of your revenue, already we are struggling. So we will not go that route. We are going to change that. And then another one of the big bookshops in Kenya has refused to review the book, has kept it for 2 months. See, I go take my dead stock and dead it. Yeah, so that one. Anyway, so we have them in those locations. Please pop in, please grab a copy, and as you have your coffee, and enjoy yourself. And yes, let's engage. Let us keep it at, please like, share on YouTube, especially like, share, comment, and press that button that allows you to see notification when you're posting something new, so that we are able to engage further, we have an email address there, brokensouls2025@gmail.com, brokensouls2025@outlook.com. Please engage with me, engage with us on that, on those, so that we're able to have further discussions. You may have some feedback. Let us have feedback about the book, feedback about what we do, feedback about our job, and of course about our charity work. We are still doing pads drives around the country. We'll let you know about the next one, where we'll go to. It might be Naivasha, it might be Nairobi, it might be Siaya, it might be Nyeri, it might be Meru. We don't know yet, but we will be doing something very, very soon, hopefully with the fellow riders. And yeah, that's it for the day. Thank you so very much for those who've been here. Let's now appreciate kila mtu ambaye amekuwa hapa. Do we go from the top? No, we give them here. So Johnny 404, thank you very much for being a long time watcher and a rising star. Thank you very, very, very much. I appreciate your time and for being here and for spending time with me. Nyambura Gashin is a long time. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. Happy Soul says, my dream is to write a book. Kindly assist me. Niko Mombasa. Aya, Happy Soul, fanya hivi, ingia DM ama ukiklik hiyo link ya linktree, enda kwa WhatsApp. Let me know, and I'll support as much as I can. I'll help you figure out how to write the book. There are a number of options. I'll let you know how to do that. So Happy Soul, please, let's engage. And thank you very, very much for being here and for commenting and for watching, for joining me and keeping me company. I really appreciate everybody. I really appreciate your time. I don't take for granted that you came and joined me and have been with me all this time. Early in the morning, I appreciate. 3 black hearts. Let me see what your name is. Pretty Psycho 41. Yeah, Pretty Psycho 41. Thank you so much for watching. Pretty Psycho. We are all psychos. Some of us are not pretty. Pretty Psycho, thank you so much. Shout out to you. Top shorter. Amazing. Dorcas Solomon. Top shorter. Kwako, top shorter. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this thing is shaking too much, because you're trying to scroll. Psalms, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being here. Top shorter. Jax, thank you so much for joining and for being not Psalms, Palms. It's Palms, right? Ooh, let me go back. Yeah, Palms. I'm so sorry, Palms. I am sorry. I have cataract in my left eye. Allow me to misspell. No, I'm kidding, but I'm sorry. Sorry, Palms. Heartbeat Band. Thank you so much for being here. Top shorter. Ciao. Thank you very much for watching and for being here. You're a long time watcher. I appreciate you. Top shorter. Joan Mutisia, thank you very, very much. Thank you very much for joining, for watching, for being here. Oh, I love you. Oh, user 8306444747364 trophy 643. You followed me. Thank you so much. That is amazing. That's amazing. You follow you follow too. Please. Yeah, who else has been here? I appreciate every single person who's been here. Thank you so much for everybody who's been here today. 254K home. Thank you so much for being a long time watcher and a rising star. Yes, my dear wonderful Ted Asuna, you've liked. Thank you so much. And of course, again, your comment was very, very valid. Mental health is a worst support, especially in health. The shame and the trauma, the same. You know where I come from, Cynthia, so shame and shame sound the same to me. Alicia baby, thank you so much for being here, for watching, for liking, for being in the live, for joining me, for keeping me company all this time. Who else is here? Irene, thank you once again. Señorita, yeah, well, that's it for the day. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate your time. I don't take for granted that you've been here with me today. Let me know if you want any other particular topic to be discussed from the book or just from life. I'll be very happy to pick that up. But yeah, thank you so much for everything that you've done in terms of being here today and for liking 10,000 10.1k likes. I appreciate that. I do not take it for granted. I really thank you everybody for that. Happy Mental Health Awareness Month. Please let us stop. Please talk about mental health issues. Don't be ashamed. Don't be embarrassed. Yeah, it's not very easy to talk about, but again, let us make it easy to talk about. Let us make it commonplace to discuss our mental health issues. Okay? Make it commonplace. Let someone know what you're going through. If you really can't, you don't know me, sometimes I don't know you, just come on WhatsApp. Via the link tree, tap there, say, listen, my name is so and so, I watch you on live, I would want to talk about ABCD. See, and we'll work it out. Finally, as I go, there was somebody in one of the lives called by the name Notification. You see that I actually signed for you the book because of the prank you made, and then you decided that you will not pick the book, you won't go to the DM. So now I have a book here that is signed autographed for somebody, and then they've refused to pick it. So if you're here and you want to get a book, I'm giving this book away. I'll find a way. Say, keep pranking nicely. We need more laughs today to make the world a better place. Alafu ulikata kuchukua book yako. Notification, Paul, this book is going away, so it might go away to somebody on this live, might go away to somebody on TikTok. If you want this book, please, I will find a way to deal with this, and then we can give you this book. Notification, amekata kuchukua, so I can't keep it. I can't keep it for myself. We'll see. I might keep this for myself and then give you another book. Whoever you are, DM me. If you don't DM, there's somebody. There is Alice at Phone Place Kenya. Alice at Phone Place Kenya, you might get a book. You will get a book very, very soon. Depends on if I come to Nuria. If not, I will send someone to give you a book, but I need to sign it for you. So yeah, what we will do is whoever wants a book, I will swap. I will keep this book for myself. I'll keep this book for myself. Tell me your name today. If no one wants it today, it's also fine. Hakuna shida. Alice will get it. Alice will get a book from me. Alice of Phone Place Kenya. She did a good job yesterday supporting me figure out which gadget to get. I needed something from them, and she was very supportive and very kind to even apologize for the rude response by someone at their call center 2 weeks ago. Anyway, that's it for the day. Thank you very, very much, everybody. It's been amazing. This has been Rasta Doc, your host, and I'm humbled that you've been here with me. And yeah, please jump onto the YouTube channel, our YouTube podcast. Humanitarian Chronicles is the channel, and humanitarianchronicles.com is the website where we do all this and we put all this. Please, karibuni sana. Let us figure this out together. Let us figure out mental health issues together. Let us support each other. Let us create a safe space where we can come and just talk. The book is still available. Ta-da! At bookshops, as I've said, in those many bookshops, several bookshops where we are, and those locations where you can get the book. Please pop in there, and yes, let us start tackling trauma together. Tusaidiane, tuinuane, tubebane, tushikane mikono, so that we support each other and we have less people losing their lives and their livelihoods to trauma. We have more people able to cope, so that we can support even more people cope. Not just for Kenya, for Africa, for the world. Rasta Doc out. Adios. Have a wonderful day.